God, I hope so. Well, that was weird. My laptop's doing just fine. Huh? How weird. That was so weird. So yeah, our router, my desktop, which is what I use to stream with, is hardwired into the router, so it was working just fine. But for some reason, the wireless wasn't working. Like my laptop and her Roku and some other stuff just weren't connected. Super weird. Super weird. Back to it though. That was really bizarro. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. Ooh. Those spikes are so green. Oh. Oh. Right. I knew that. Fall, darn you. Oh, NES. Oh, Super Nintendo slowdown is a thing. Super big time a thing. You know, I always worried these things would fall. Oh yeah, they do fall. Well, I mean more in the sense of like they would fall as you're like walking on them, not as you get to the end of it. Oh god. Oh, that was so lucky. It was so lucky. What is the boss of this stage? Is it the double-headed dragon thing? I think it is. Which is like it's fucking Super Nintendo Slowdown City. Weird little fuzzy ball thing that you cannot actually kill. If I recall, those little things are called oons. If I recall correctly, anyway. More of that. There's a lot more of that later. I can't see where I'm going. One terrible thing about this game too is like you really need to do this to whip. If you hold this fucking button for any length of time, whatever, he does this. And you will not get like a proper whip hit because of it. The fishman, the merman. Ow. Die, you motherfucker. Jesus Christ. That thing did not want to die. Oh. Oh, I need the pork chop. Give it. Oh, fuck, man. I really wanted to keep that. Well, I'm dead. I really wanted to keep that damn boomerang. The boomer cross. Second chance. Second chance to keep the boomer cross. I think there's like there's a way to like jump up onto that ledge without having to kill the weird snake dragon head thing, whatever it's called. Okay, that torch is not worth my time. Oh, come on. Really? That was just rude. There we go. I didn't think I'd die this many times at this point. I get a little deeper before I started dying constantly. I mean, the game's hard and all, but damn it. That last one was kind of an unfair death in my defense. Up the stairs. Do 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 do. I'm gonna kill all these dicks. Video game. That was rude. That was super, super rude. Ooh, God. There we go. Whoop. Oh, God. Right. That breaks away, I forgot. I'll read that in a second. There we go. Because pixel art is... I don't want to call it timeless, but it just ages extremely well. Unlike, you go and look back at, say, early PlayStation games or N64 games with that, like, really blocky polygon thing when they were first learning how to do 3D stuff. It didn't exactly age particularly well. Whereas this stuff, like, there's no... It's art. It's art in a pure form, and it ages really, really, really well. Because it's not trying to be something that it's not, if that makes any sense at all. I couldn't jump off the damn platform. Oh my God, I have to start all the way back here. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Let's try that again. That stage went very, very poorly for me, I gotta say. And a big part, this is all me speculating here, is like a big part of... Sorry, I wanted some coffee. A big part of what makes pixel art so appealing, at least for me, especially from games of this era and before, is how much they did with what little they actually had to work with. Like, at one point in time, this was cutting edge of consoles. Like, this was as good as it got, man. And they knew that they were limited in what they could do, so they had to work around those limitations. You know, the NES is an even better example of that, because that fucking thing had an extremely limited color palette. I don't know exactly what it was, but I know that it was a super, super, super limited palette. And it's why so many NES games look kind of similar, because they all had to work with the same limitation that the other ones had to work with. It's also why, like, if you do certain glitches in these older games, you can kind of mess with the graphics, because in this era especially, to get around some of the limitations, different things would be loaded to different parts of the game's ROM. So it's like, okay, in this stage it'll load this version of it, which will be, you know, certain sprites and certain colors, and another part of the game it'll load a different version, which will have different colors, it'll have different sprites. And if you glitch the games, you can kind of see that sometimes. I'm trying to think of a good example of that. Mario World. Super Mario World was a really good example of that, where in certain color palettes are for certain enemies, and if you force the game to load those certain color palettes, but use different enemy types, it'll just like load the completely wrong sprite. I'm trying to think of like I think if I recall, the Lakitu dying sprite is actually is set to be the exact same bit of memory as the dolphin jumping sprite. So if you can force the game to load the proper color palette, the dolphins will get replaced by a dying Lakitu, which is hilarious. But it's great. It's like, it's so funny too, because, you know, other games, modern games, try to go with that pixel art aesthetic. Some of them manage to pull it off, some don't. Undertale is actually, you know, speaking of because you mentioned Undertale earlier, Undertale is a great example of a game using old school retro pixel art and it working really, really, really well. And for people like me that grew up with these kinds of games, it also helps, at least on my end, because it's like, oh yeah, like this is nostalgia. Yeah, I get all the nostalgia from this kind of thing. All I need now is to, like, have to physically go to a fucking video rental place to go pick it up at some point, and my nostalgia trip would be complete. Oh, and I guess play it on a really, really old, shitty CRT TV. That would help, too. I don't have one of those, but, you know. No, that's a dagger. I don't want the dagger. Yeah, pixel art's great. No, see, this... Son of a bitch. I was trying to avoid that. And he hit me anyway. This game, the crazy part is, this game gets ridiculously hard later. I'm not even at the hard part yet. And I'm dying like an idiot. That's the worst part. And, you know, and talking about all that old school stuff is like, that's to say nothing of oh my god, how did I not die there? Fucking, what are the Super Nintendo's unique things called Mode 7? Mode 7 is its own weird little thing and get around of making out things 3D that wouldn't normally be 3D, you know, that was how it did its 3D rendering. There will be some Mode 7 later in this game. I gotta get to it though. Fuck both of you. Oh god, fucking Kid Icarus on NES is stupid hard. I have never beaten it. Never, ever, ever. I will say though, if you can probably find like an emulator version of it somewhere. The original Game Boy version of Kid Icarus is a little bit easier and a lot more fun. I could really use a pork chop. Especially as I died of birds. I could have really used a pork chop right there. Ah, fuck this stage. And fuck you. Oh my god, he fucking respawned. You motherfucker, get back here. Ah, see, there you go. Yeah, I prefer the Game Boy version personally. That was the one that I liked the most. And I have played both. I've beaten the Game Boy version, but I've never beaten the original NES one. The original NES one is hard though. But games of that era, man, they were brutally hard, like on purpose. And that also kind of goes back to the limitation thing, where these games were made extremely hard to lengthen them. It's why you see speedrunners able to knock these games out in just such a short amount of time, because they were meant to be hard on purpose to force you to play it longer. I hate this boss, by the way. This boss is Lag City. Oh god! Oh god, I've let it get away from me. Nope, come here. Oh, thank God. I did not want to do that again if I could avoid it. Haha! Oh, beat the stage. Moving on. Oh, fuck that. I know what Dragon's Lair for the NES is like. Fuck that noise. That game's just unfair. Walk into a door, die. It's like it's so weird. It's like, I get it. I get what they were going for, because in the Dragon's Lair arcade, which I've also played, never beat, but it's one mistake and you're dead. That's the whole premise of the fucking thing. But in an NES game, that doesn't really work. God, I couldn't make the damn jump. Hate this part. Ah! Didn't jump fast enough. Eat a dick. There we go. I play fighting games. I should be able to time my button presses better. Yeah, these little green platforms spin when you jump on them specifically. You can walk across them, no problem, but if you land on them, they spin on you. That was rude. Oh no, like that's what we were just talking about. It's like the brutality of these old games is fucking great. Because you're like I'm definitely in agreement of like, you know, I miss the days of a game not having to spend, you know, the first 3 hours just teaching me how to play it. But son of a bitch, I hit the ceiling. But on that same line, I can kind of defend it because, you know, these games weren't that fucking complicated. You push this button for whip, you push this button for jump, you push that button for sub weapon, you're done. That's all you need to know. Fucking X and A don't even do anything. They do nothing. So I'm literally using 3 buttons for just and the D-pad. There's no super complex stuff that the game has to try to explain to me. Whereas, you know, in like a newer game, you got all sorts of shit going on all the time. Damn it. There we go. Ah, I was having so much trouble with that. But some of them do definitely go super overboard with the tutorials, and it's like, oh my god, why is the tutorial still going? Almonds! It's the almond boss. Then he explodes into more almonds. I mean, leaves a stain on the wall, too. I've never actually noticed that. Oh, I love this part. Well, and a lot of that's because developers are so scared that you'll, like, miss something. Ah! Fuck, man. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, I thought I hit him before. Guess I didn't. I mean, dude, the kind of shit that those programmers go through, they kind of have to be on drugs. I have absolutely nothing but respect for game developers because the kind of shit that they do to put games out, fuck, man. Those working conditions are so awful. Granted, that does vary between different developers. So other developers are better than others, of course, but the deadlines and all the work that they gotta put in, like, fuck all of that noise. And there's also the aspect of this, you know, for the older generations, you know, you might have Super Castlevania and maybe one other game. You know, that's all you had. Whereas nowadays, there's so much stuff out there, everything is vying for that piece of the pie, that, yeah, it's hard to keep the attention. Fuck you and your almond tongues. But that does also kind of get away from one of the key tenets of developing a video game, and that's, you know, just make it fun. If it's fun, people will want to play it, and that's really all there is to that. I was about to say, I think I can just, like, stand here? And we'll do this. Okay. Oh, darn. They don't die from the whip swingy swing. There we go. I swear to God, the very first time I ever got to this part, I died dropping myself down to the right because I thought that was where I had to go. I didn't wait for the platform to form. I thought I had to go over there. There we go. Oh, here we go. Mode 7. This is the example of Mode 7 right here on the Super Nintendo, and it was how it rendered three-dimensional graphics. Usually used for map screens a lot of times. A great example is the map in A Link to the Past. That is a version of Mode 7. And as you can see, the Super Nintendo is struggling a little bit right now. And this is on an actual Super Nintendo, like 100. This is 100% actual hardware with an actual cartridge of this fucking game. I'm playing it on my own personal Super Nintendo and personal copy. So of course I have a complete in-box copy of this game. Actually, it's sitting. The box is right there. It's off camera. Darn it. Right here. I think I can just drop down right here if I'm fast enough. Cause that is the that right there is the way forward, right here. You know, I know this part is scripted, but it always makes me nervous. It's like, as long as you hold right, you're not gonna get killed, but you gotta make sure you're holding right. Oh yeah, the boss that dies into Mode 7. That's what's coming up. Fuck you. I have all the hearts in the world. I don't give a shit. Just throw axes at him. Boss. Ah, damn it. I hate this boss. It's so hard to dodge those, that falling debris. Damn it. Fuck this jump. Fuck that jump. I would have ran right into the bat. Glad that freezes time. There you go. Easy enough. Don't get hit by the falling purple spikes of death, they will kill you. This really doesn't take all that much time to get back to this boss, thank God. Poor chap. Oh. Crap. Alright. Try to not get hit. There we go. And he dies into mode 7. There he goes. There, I got the pose. I got the orb pose that time.